Hello, I am live. I apologize for being so late. We had loading sprung on us last minute again. Not sure if you're still here, Andrea. I doubt it. It's half an hour late. Oh, you are still here, according to this. So, if you are still here, hello. And hopefully some other people will join us, not be upset with me. Right, so today I want to talk about the nature of money. So I just want to open this book here. I can just go through the chapter headings because it was quite good. I think before we actually speak about the actual nature of money, we also need to speak about the nature of how people view money, especially when it comes to magic users, pagans, witches, magicians, and the like. Because somebody who criticizes magic and witchcraft, one of the first things they will actually say is that if magic works, then why aren't more magicians rich? And there's a very easy answer to this. If you actually talk to enough pagans and witches, magicians, etc., you will probably find that they consider money to be quite materialistic and unspiritual. And that's the main reason. And a lot of people who get into magic and witchcraft, they do it because they are after something. They're after a truth, and they want to take the universe to pieces. Sort of take it apart and put it back together again, and understand how it actually works. And in that aspect, you find that a lot of people will just completely disregard the material world. But we still need to exist in this world. We still need to make money, and we still need to pay bills. We still need to buy food to feed ourselves, and luxuries every now and again. But this seems to be a general attitude in the magic community, is that money is material, therefore it is unspiritual, and so why should we pursue money? Hi, Sabrina. Nice to see you here from Houston, Texas. Stephen Skinner says all good magicians should be well heeled. Yes. Well, I don't see why not. I mean, if you think about it, okay, so this world that we actually live in, that we see every day, you can call it a dream, you can call it consensual reality, you can call it the installation. So it is kind of the dream in the manner that it's not actually reality. It is put together. It's how we see it. It's how we perceive it and how we interact, because we are human beings. But that being said, we still do have this material world that we live in, that we interact with people every day. That, as I said, we need to put food on the table. We need to pay the bills. We've got rent to pay. We've got electricity to pay. We've got internet to pay. Well, saying we've got electricity to pay. Well, we've just had load shedding again, which is why I'm late. So I don't really know why, but anyway, that's besides the point. So we do need to live in this material world, and therefore we need to balance everything out. I mean, a good magic practitioner will look at balance in their lives, and so this is part of our lives, whether we like it or not. Whether we want to pursue just a spiritual life, then that's fine. You can go and become a hermit and live in a cave, but most of us are not going to do that. We are going to need money, and so it's vital to everyday existence, really. So the actual nature of money itself, if we look at it, when we think about money, we have different opinions about it. We have different perceptions about it. For a very long time, I used to say I hate money, because as soon as money came in, it went out, and it just got to me, and I wasn't making what I wanted to make. I was just living day by day, hand to mouth, and it was just I just hated money at the time. And somebody actually said to me, well, if you hate money, how do you think it feels about you? So money is it wants honesty. It wants to be honored. It wants to be loved. It wants to be appreciated. And if it's not appreciated, why is it going to stick around? So in many regards, we can actually view money as a spirit. It's not a spirit itself, but it is an energy. And that energy has particular wants and needs, and it has to move and everything else. So first of all, it wants to be honored. And so if we are saying that we don't like money, that money is evil, you don't want to be in the 1% of the world that earn the most money because, they're horrible people and everything else, then money's not going to like you in return. And the other aspect is that money likes to move. So, taking money and putting it in a box and putting it under your bed, or, storing it somewhere where it can't actually do anything, it's not going to want to do that. Money wants to go where money is best appreciated. And if it's stuck under your bed, it's not appreciated. It's just sitting there doing nothing. So it wants to move. And one of the ways you can actually make money move, apart from spending it, is to actually give it to charities. And I say that's controversial because at the same time, we don't want to waste money. Wasting money is taking money that you have, actually that you don't really have, because that money may need to go to pay bills and pay for food, even pay for entertainment, just to give you a break from a bad week. But if you're taking that money and you're wasting it, then you get into debt, and then you don't build wealth. And if that happens, then there's really no point to the money. You're just throwing it away, and it's not going to come back to you. You're wasting it. You're actually disrespecting it by wasting it. But if we view it in its aspect of its need to move, and we actually gamble it. And when I say gamble it, I don't just mean going to the casino, where Lady Fortuna might be honored. I also mean you can do things such as play the stock market, do forex trading and things like that. In a sense, okay, you have a bit of education behind you on how to actually do that. But in a sense, it is also gambling, because no matter how educated you are, if you're not managing your money right, you're going to lose it. But if you just take a small portion of your money, just a small portion, something that you can actually throw away, that you don't need. So if you earn $1,000 a month, I'm just pure example, I'm just pulling numbers out the area. If you earn $1,000 a month, you can possibly throw away $10. Okay, so take those $10 and go and put it on the lottery, or just throw it into stocks, or throw it into day trading on forex or something like that. And the reason for this is that you're actually giving it away. Or as I said, you can also give it away to a charity if you prefer to do that. But you're giving it away. You're allowing it to flow and to move and to do something that it wants to do, which is help people. In that sense, what happens then, because you're putting the energy out and you're giving that money back, you're just getting rid of it. You're not expecting anything to come back from it. So you might just put $10 into day trading, not expecting a return, just lose the whole lot, but you are putting it out there. And what happens is that energy appreciates that, and it actually returns the energy back to you, so you get money back in. I know it sounds a bit convoluted and it sounds a bit contradictory, but it actually does work. A lot of people, one example in Jason Miller's book is actually, if you look at people who attend a church and they pay a tithe. Now, the tithe is a contribution or a donation to the church in order to allow it to grow. And that tithe is usually considered to be 10% of your salary. Now, you'll find a lot of people who do tithe, they are always saying that they get more back. And it's because you're giving that money away to something, or, just allowing that energy to move and to actually get out there and do what it needs to do. And therefore, it does come back to you. If you're putting it under your bed, it's not doing anything. It can't move. It's just sitting there stagnant, and nothing's really happening. So you've got to get it moving. And on that same note, what you can do is spend your money. And we're going to get more into actual spell work and magic and things like that in later videos. But one good way of actually spending your money is to draw the money out of an ATM or get it from the bank in notes, in physical notes, and anoint each note with something like a money draw oil. You can also get a money draw sachet powder and just rub that on each note. Then you put it back in your wallet and you go spend it. And so the energy goes out there. But it's not just the energy of the money that's moving, it's also the energy of the spell work that you just did, which is anointing the money with money draw oil. And as you put it out there, the energy gets out there and it draws more money into you. And as I said, magic itself, the spell work and stuff, we'll get into a bit later. We really need to understand money first. And I'm not saying I understand money and its nature and everything else 100%. I'm not a financial advisor or anything like that. So this is just based on what I've learned through reading books, through study, through experience as well. Over the years, I've been up and down with money and drove me mad until I actually started to actually sit down and understand it and understand how it moves and where it actually wants to go. So let's see, we spoke about honor, movement, waste, don't waste your money. If you want to buy a collection of videos on the internet and they're costing X amount and you don't really have X amount of money to spend, then you're wasting your money. What I've just spoken about and gambling and putting your money into stocks and doing day trading and stuff like that, again, if it's more than you can actually do without, then you are starting to waste money. You don't want to do that. We've spoken about charity. Time. People, okay, there's a heading here, people. One thing you do want to try and do is actually, I'm not saying get rid of your friends or, ignore your family or anything like that, but have a look at the people in your life. If they are negative and they are actually pulling you down, you might want to just limit your interactions with them a bit more than you do at present. And the reason being that they are going to pull you down. And if you go to them and say, "Oh, look, I've grown a business, I've started a business, or I'm doing this, I'm doing that to try and make extra money," they're not going to like it because they want you to be in the same boat they're in. So they're going to give you negative feedback. They're going to basically talk you into actually abandoning the whole idea. So you want to try and get people in your life who do own businesses and are successful. And, they might not be friends. You can go onto YouTube and all social media and look for people who do provide and give a positive message. And, you can watch their videos every day and just get that positive message, and it reinforces you, it helps you to grow. And so people in your life are very important. Now, the other thing I wanted to speak about in this video was the aspects of earth and air. I'm not going to go into planetary aspects today or what spirits that you can work with in this video. I want to do that in a later video. But earth and air specifically, I just wanted to get into, because a lot of people who get into magic, into witchcraft, and they read the various standard books, when it comes to anything dealing with money, they're always directed to work with the element of earth. Now, when we were in a bartering system, purely a bartering system, there was no financial currency available, then earth would have been, apt. Earth at that time would have been the things that you were actually dealing with. Actually, more so when we actually started bringing in the financial currency. We put value to gold, for instance, and diamonds and silver and things like that. Rare metals, which couldn't be picked up off the ground. I mean, if we gave the financial consideration to a leaf, everybody can go pick a leaf off the tree and say they're rich. So it was given to minerals which were hard to find. And that value then was exchanged for goods instead of the bartering system itself. Because if you were bartering and you wanted something that somebody had, but you didn't have what they wanted, then you had to go find somebody else who wanted what you had, and they have what this other person wants. So you barter with them, and then you go back to the other person, you barter with them to finally get what you want. I mean, it's a bit of a terrible system, actually. So then currency came in, and we put value to precious metals, to rare metals, and therefore, people could then exchange that value for something they wanted. So that was actually working with the metals themselves, and in that aspect, earth would have been a very apt element to work with. But then obviously the years have gone by, and we now work with money which is actually invisible. Money itself is merely a means to an end. It's, we talk about doing money magic, and we talk about making all this money, but money itself is actually just a means to an end. It doesn't really have much value, actually, because what we're aiming for is not to make more money. What we're aiming for is to have enough money to pay for the things that we want and the lifestyle that we want. So we're not actually aiming to make more money. We're aiming to have a lifestyle. And money is just there to make that happen. And so money itself is quite irrelevant. It's the lifestyle we're after. And I think a shift in perception actually helps with the whole money magic process. But money itself is invisible. It is electronic. It no longer actually, to a certain aspect it does, but mostly it doesn't actually heed to the element of earth. It heeds to the element of air, because it is movement. It moves. It is it's mutable. It's electronic. So that brings more the aspect of air than it does of earth nowadays. We could possibly talk about wealth as being the element, or being part of the element of earth, because wealth is something that we actually build up. And although I said, money wants to move, it's no good sticking it under your bed in a box where it just lies and becomes nothing. On the same note, we do need to build wealth, and that wealth needs to go somewhere, and it needs to be stored, and it needs to build up to a certain point where we can say, I can live for 6 months without a single paycheck, because that's my wealth, or I can live for 10 years without a paycheck. And most people who are retiring, they need that wealth. They need something that's been stored away. But even in that case, when you're storing that away, it's still earning interest if it's in a bank. If you have given it to a broker, then it's probably earning money from the stocks and whatever they're putting it on. Whatever the broker does with that money. I'm not a broker. I don't know. But it is still moving. It's still doing something. It's still going out there and bringing more in. So it's not stuck under your bed. waiting for you to retire one day, and then you're going to pull it out, and it's paper. It's just going to probably disintegrate by the time you're retired. So it's really going to do nothing. It still needs to move, even if you are building wealth. That wealth still moves, and it moves electronically. So the wealth itself is earth. It's building a foundation, but it is still moving, and therefore it is air. It is ruled by air. And I think that's about it for today, actually. What I really wanted to talk about. So as I said, in the weeks to come, I am going to be talking about spirits that you can possibly look at using, and I will be looking at demons from the Goetia, from the Dukant hierarchy and things like that. I don't take the same viewpoint as Jason Miller does. He actually mentions, let me just try and find this page. Wait, it wasn't there, it was here. Jason Miller takes the viewpoint that demons are evil. Mammon is a great spirit to work with, but mostly if you want to actually build an empire. So if you've got a business and you want to make it grow, then Mammon is the dude to go to. But anyway, I can't find it now. Basically, Jason Miller says that, if you liken money to demons, then when you're working with a demon, you would bind it and you would command it and everything else, and you must do the same with money. I definitely don't take that approach. When I work with demons and demonology, I respect them. And I don't hate money anymore. I respect money. Money is a very powerful and potent thing, and it can bring the things that we wish to bring into our life and the lifestyle that we want. So it should be respected. And anyway, is there anybody here to actually ask any questions, and would you like to ask some questions? Andrea's very quiet today. I wonder if she fell asleep while she was waiting for me. Very well, I drink my coffee. One of the things I'm also going to be talking about in weeks to come is the cash book and the cash box. I'm actually busy making a cash box, so I've been experimenting with it. That's the whole box over there, but this is the lid. It didn't quite come out the way I wanted it to. I need to engrave a bit deeper, I think, but I don't know if you can see this. Here we go. So I've got 4 Jupiterian symbols in the corners, and then I know there are symbols there. It's just been painted over. I was sanding off to see if it would actually sink into the engraving properly. And then in the middle is the 4th pentacle of Jupiter from the Lesser Key of Solomon. So anyway, as I said, I've got to engrave deeper and just go through with the paint again and sand it off. So hopefully next week I'll be able to show you that again, and it will be finished. It's also got a very nice antique gold finish. I'm not going to go and reach for that now because it's too far away. It's a gilder's paste, which if you are into crafty stuff, you might actually... I'm trying to see if we can actually get it to shine. Not really. No, it's not really showing up. But it is a very nice... It's antique gold. It's a very nice finish. It's great stuff. It's just a paste, and you just put it on, and you just go over with a cloth and rub it around. It's brilliant. Michael has a question. Hang on, let me put that back. Is there anything that people could do? I'm out of focus. There we go. Is there anything that people could do to start getting money magic going? Yes. Understand money itself. The more attention you give it, the more interest it's going to have in you. And you there's the thing is, there's lots of things you can do, lots of spell work you can do. One thing I would suggest, if you want to really start now, and something that's really simple and easy, is to do a sweetening jar. I know, Michael, you and I have spoken about sweetening jars quite a bit in the past. But I mean, I've got one over there. Again, I'm not going to reach for it; it's too far away. But it really is good. One thing I did last year, because it was towards the end of last year, was having a bit of difficulty with bringing business in. But it was just for 1 month. Luckily, I had an investment that I could pull some money out of, so it got me through the month. But what I did do was actually work with Belphegor. It was a 7-day ritual, and Belphegor was brilliant. He helped unbelievably. But we're then talking. We might be talking about emergency magic or reactive magic. Then we don't want to. We do want to bring in money, now, because we need to pay stuff. But what we want to mostly focus on, as I said on Tuesday, was that we want to try and do something long term. So you might need money now, but next month's a month away. It comes quickly. So what are you going to do then? So what we need to do is try and build up the money and bring in more money. And it might be just a side business, something you can do in the evenings that doesn't take a lot of time. You can start a side business and run it in the evenings and just take an hour or two, and you can get something going, and you can make it work. It's not going to go, come instantly or anything like that, but it can be done. So if you can create a side business while you're still working, then do that, just to bring in some extra income. And as it progresses, as it builds, and as you get the energy moving, it's all about energy. Everything's about energy. We know that. We're magic users. So it's all about energy. And in order for energy to get to a point where you want it to be, it's got to sort of build up. You can give it a huge, big influx of power to do something that you want now. But that influx of power is going to go boom, poof. So what we want to do is try and build up the energy progressively and slowly, so that it actually builds up with strength, with good foundations. And then we actually start bringing in a constant flow of money, instead of this little bursts here and there, because now all of a sudden we're in trouble, we need to get more money, and let's do some reactive magic, and we've got an emergency, let's do this. And if we've got enough money coming in on a constant basis, we don't need to do that emergency or reactive magic, because we build up wealth, and we build up savings, and we build up investments. And that's the main thing, is to actually really understand money. Because if we don't understand it, all we're doing is getting money in and just spending it. And we're spending it in the wrong places. You should have emergency savings, you should have investments, short-term and long-term investments, and you should build it up over time. But you've got to have that constant inflow of money. And so that's what we actually want to aim for. So I hope that, I don't know if that answers the question or not. I'll have a sip of coffee just to stop myself talking now. Right, any other questions? I think Andrea did fall asleep. I think Andrea's nan should go give her a nudge and wake her up. It did. Okay, great. I think my biggest problem is when I start talking about these topics, I just ramble on, and you can't stop me. I'm very bad at small talk and keeping a conversation going with people, but if it's about magic and stuff, I ramble. I really do ramble. Who is in the house? Okay. Right. If, as I said, if you've got any questions about anything else, it doesn't need to be about money magic. Any question you got in your mind, just put it in the chat there, and we'll have a look at it. I'll give it a couple more minutes. This is the problem with live streams. I can't edit. So now I have to sit here trying to think of what to talk about. Well, everybody's deciding on what questions to ask. Plus, I think there's a bit of a delay in the chat, actually. There is one other thing you want to do in regards to money magic. And this is why I actually like Jason Miller's book quite a lot, as opposed to all the others. It's to understand how finances work. If you want to do day trading, then study day trading. If you want to actually understand how a business works, you've got to study business. You don't need to go to school for it or college or whatever. You can learn it online. And you can watch YouTube videos. There are a lot of people. If you are actually wanting to follow some people, I'm actually just going to open my YouTube here and just check what I have, who I'm subscribed to. Gary Vee is a good one. I do have a bit of difficulty with Gary Vee because he's always saying, you know, what you need to do is constantly post on social media, on all the social media, well, not all of them, but most of the social medias. And you need to be on, well, a year ago, I think it was, you need to start on TikTok and you need to do this, but you need to be constantly posting on social media and building the audience. He has somebody following him around with a video camera 24 hours a day, and he has a whole team of people who make social media posts. So for the single guy like me to do that, it gets a bit difficult. But some other great people, Sunny Lenarduzzi, she is fantastic. I love her to bits. She's so amazing. There's also Amy Landino, who's great, especially if you are a woman and you're a boss. That's what her channel's aimed mostly at, but I think she just gives some great advice. Can't see anybody else right now. But check out the internet, check out those channels, and you'll probably get suggestions for others. And read books. Some of the best books to actually read if you are starting a business or looking to start a business is biographies and autobiographies by people who have started some of the best books. One of my favorites was, I think it's the one about the guys who started up Starbucks. Well, really started. He took it over and made something big of it. Great story, actually. But have a look at some of those autobiographies. I can't think of names right now. I don't know what's wrong with my brain. I think it's gone to sleep. It's Friday evening. But yeah, so get yourself motivated in that way. Watch YouTube channels of people who have made it, who are successful. That's why I'd say Sunny Lenarduzzi is great. She's down to earth. She built herself up from nothing, and she made all the mistakes, and she's not afraid to actually talk about those mistakes. But she's now in the millionaire bracket, and probably more by now. But she's just fantastic. She's gorgeous. I mean, I'm a dirty old man. I can't help not watching the gorgeous women on YouTube. I'm in training though, so I've got to practice. Probably going to have a lot of people unsubscribe now. So yeah, get into the financial side of things. It's not just about the magic. The magic helps. Oh, yes, that's actually something I forgot about when I was talking about the lottery and gambling and things. If you look at the lottery, it was Gordon White, I think, who actually put this the best way possible. When you're playing the lottery, if you use magic to play the lottery and try to win the lottery, that's great. It can help you. If your chances are 2 million to 1 without the magic, what's going to happen is when you do the magic, it makes your chances a lot better. So it might become 200,000 to 1 chance that you'll win the lottery. But that's still a 200,000 to 1 chance that you're going to win. So the fact that you're going to win the lottery just because you use magic, it helps, but it's not going to make it happen. So don't use magic to try and win the lottery. It's just not going to work. And I mean, on the other side of that scale is that there are millions of people who are playing the same lottery. And they might not all be magic users. A lot of them probably are, and they're probably all using magic to try and win the lottery. But even if they're not magic users, magic is about energy and thought, projecting your thoughts in order to actually change the will of something. So even if those people are not magic users, they are still focused on winning the lottery. They want the lottery. So, don't even bother with trying to use magic for the lottery. But what you can do is use it to get rid of money, I'll say get rid of money, that sounds bad, to release money back into where it wants to be. It wants to flow freely, and it wants to be with all its friends. So you can use the lottery the same way you can use day trading, stocks, and even going to the casino and gambling. The problem with the casino and gambling is that you start and often you don't stop, and it can become an addiction. So, bit of a bad thing. If you are not interested in gambling at all and it will not form an addiction, then okay, go to the casino and just throw some coins in a slot machine and then walk away. You've put the money back into circulation, and so it will give the energy time to just give the energy time to work, and it'll come back to you. But yeah, trying to use magic. I tried to use magic to win the lottery in the past. It doesn't work. There is actually an interesting side to that in South Africa. The Sangomas often what people do is they go to the Sangoma and they may have had a dream the night before, and they go to the Sangoma and they say, "This was my dream," and the Sangoma will actually interpret the dream in terms of numbers, which are then given to the person to go and play the lottery. We laugh at these things maybe, but they quite often work. So I don't know. There may be something to it, but just to use magic to try and win the lottery, the chances are slim to nothing that you're going to win. You might get 1 or 2 numbers right, but that's about it. And you can do that without magic, so don't even bother. All right, any other questions? Excuse me. That was rude. Oh, and I must say, one of the things I've actually stopped watching, to be honest with you, are these New Age manifestation channels. And I was a bit worried that mine would actually turn into one of those channels, but all the New Age manifestation channels, I find that they're not practical, they're not down to earth, and quite honestly, well, they're not honest. You probably get the one or two which are, but mostly they're going on about, oh, if you want this big house and this yacht, then you need to use this technique. Put your energy into a glass of water and drink it. It's quite unrealistic. If we want to actually build something in our lives, we need to build it properly. It's not an instant fix, and a lot of people try these techniques and they just give up and think that the whole thing is ridiculous, and then that moves on to magic is pathetic and it doesn't work and everything else. So they're giving us a bad name. I used Joe Gallenberger's Liquid Luck and got 2 numbers on Euro Millions the 2 weeks after. I've never got a single number before. I also won my local shop competition, free wine. And won some on scratch cards. Never bought one before. Well, you can't compare that one if you never bought them before. I haven't heard. Where's Joe? I haven't heard of Joe Gallenberger. Well, it's good. Like we said, it increases your chances of winning. But to win the lottery, all the numbers, which is what people aim for when they do magic concerning the lottery. But as we said, it increases your chances of winning. So it might have been 2 million to 1. It increases your chances to 200,000 to 1. So to get 2 numbers is quite valid. But to get all, I don't know how many numbers got over there. I think we've got 6 here. To get all 6 numbers right from using magic in general, to win the lottery is basically unheard of. And I don't think I've ever heard of any lottery winner saying that they used magic. But at least you got free wine. That's the important part. Yes, I definitely think Andrea's fallen asleep because she's not talking at all. It's a great win, but I was a bit impressed since then I won nothing. But have you used the Liquid Luck again? The other side of this is that, you won chocolates. Oh, I'll have the chocolates. I'm not much of a drinker, but I'll definitely have the chocolates. The thing with magic, even when you've been doing magic for a while, if you come across a new technique or something completely new to what you've been doing before, you have beginner's luck almost. And then what happens is the next time you try and use it, or 2, 3 or 4 times down the line, you kind of expect the same result as you did the first time. And because you're expecting it, you completely interfere with the energies. And it's the same with sigil magic. If you keep thinking about the sigil and you don't allow it to sit in the unconscious mind, and it keeps coming forward to the conscious, and you keep thinking about it, you keep adding little bits to it, and it completely interferes with it. And it's the same thing. You have beginner's luck the first time you do something, and then all of a sudden it doesn't do it anymore. You're thinking, what the hell happened? And it's because you are expecting the same result as you did previously. So when you're doing magic, if you're repeating the same working that you did over and over again, each time you have to try and look at it like you've never done it before. You're completely new to it, which is kind of difficult, actually. Liquid Luck is a binaural beat. Let me sync based on Monroe Institute stuff. Oh, really? I was looking at Monroe Institute the other day. What was it for? Something to do with recapitulation, as far as I remember. But I didn't see anything about that. I'll have to have a look. That's quite interesting, actually. Because that would mean It's changing the output of your brainwaves, I would assume. I'm not really too familiar with binaural beats and stuff. I have used them in the past, but I've never really gone deep into what they do, how they work. I know that they shift your energy pattern. Obviously, it depends on what you're using it for. If you're using it to get into a theta state, then that's what it's for. This is a bit different. To actually shift into something that would bring you luck is quite interesting. So I am going to have a look at that, actually. Just want to copy and paste that in my browser so I can look at it afterwards. All right. I've been rambling for quite a bit now. Now, if you have gotten this far and you're still here, or you're watching this afterwards, oh wait, here's another question. Sabrina, I made my hubby a lucky money drawing bracelet and he's won small amounts consistently on lottery and scratch tickets, max 1,500. That's impressive. That's very good. As we said, it increases your chances. So to win small amounts it's quite possible. And Michael, there's an interview with Gallenberger on Jeffrey Mishlov's channel. He used Hemisync to win at Vegas. Okay, I'm definitely going to have to check that out. That is very interesting. But Sabrina, you should make more bracelets. And if you want to make a side business, there you go. You can sell people money drawing bracelets because they obviously work. And then you can make more money and then you can get wealth. See, this is all about making wealth and money magic. So we're finding new ways to make money. Anyway, it's coming up to 50 minutes. So if anybody's got a last minute question, just pop it in there quickly and we'll have a look. What I was going to mention, Michael will buy one for you, Sabrina. So if you want to start making money drawing bracelets, I've been thinking about do it. Michael said he'll buy one. So once you've got your business up and running, let me know. I'll advertise it on here. There's not a lot of people on here at the moment, but it'll grow. So if we've got a video up that people keep watching, then they'll keep getting drawn to your shop. So let me know once you've got that up and running. If you do, I'm not forcing you to do anything, but I think it's a good idea actually. What I did want to mention was if you are interested in learning magic from a long-term standpoint, then I've still got Temple of Chaos going. I'm not really pushing it. I'm not making money off that. If people want to send a donation and help, that's fine. But it's not about that. It's about helping people learn magic. So you can go to my website, leewjohnson.com. And there's a jump off link from there to Temple of Chaos, and you can sign up and join. I did start at the end of last year, and anything that starts, it has a bit of a development phase, a teething stage. So I am thinking about changing the format slightly. All the material that I've been writing and still need to write. For the first year of training, I'm going to actually add to my second book, The Black Crow, and bring out a new edition. So it's all going to go in there, and people can buy it if they want to, or they can join. We have at the moment we're actually having a weekly meeting online just to chat and ask whatever questions we want. It's a Zoom meeting, so it's face-to-face, interactive. So if anybody's interested in that, just give that a look and sign up. Hello, sorry I'm late. I've got a kid. Oh no, Andrea, you're not allowed to have a kidney infection. Make it go away. That's very bad form. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. Then you need to go and actually look after yourself. You're not supposed to be on the chat. I'm going to moan at you. I'm going to get Nan to come moan at you about being on the chat because you're supposed to be in bed. Okay? You've heard Dr. Lee now. Yes. So that's what I wanted to mention. Okay, so let's see. We've talked about the nature of money and understanding that money is not just, or money magic is not just about the actual spell work and the magic and working with the spirits. It's about working with the energy of money itself, and that also involves being financially educated. It's very important. Otherwise, you just throw the money away and you can't build up wealth. So you've got to educate yourself financially. And Sabrina is going to start a shop, hopefully, and Michael is going to buy her bracelet. So we've got something going here. And Andrea's going to go to bed because she's got a kidney infection. And I am going to end this now because I'm talking absolute crap. So I'll see you all next week. As I said, I'm sorry I was late, half an hour late. We had load shedding. It got sprung on us last minute again today. They've actually changed the whole schedule. And it didn't update in the handy app that everybody's been using for years. But I need to come up with some way, just in case we do have load shedding last minute and I can't make it to these lives at all. I'm going to have to come up with some solution for that, so that people don't wonder what happened to me. Anyway, not your problem, my problem. And so I'll see you next week on the live, and obviously the normal video upload on Tuesday. So I hope you all have a brilliant weekend. And if anybody's watching this after the fact and you made it this far, I haven't said hit the subscribe button, please. And we can get more people on this channel and grow things, really. So anyway, see you next week. Have a good one. Andrea's in bed, but I wanted to call by Sweet. I'm Sweetie. I feel very good about myself now. Thank you. I've been sending Lizzie to come and wake you up because I thought you'd fallen asleep because you were waiting for me so long. Anyway, I am going. Have a great weekend, everybody. Cheers.